Hi there, I'm Shan Holderness, and welcome to Health Unraveled. I'm a nutritionist, counselor, and eating psychology coach, and in my almost decade of experience in the health industry, have seen far too many women and men become consumed with weight loss, only to end up yo-yo dieting with disordered eating patterns and in binge and restrict cycles. This just breaks my heart, so I'm here to unravel everything you thought you knew about health and yourself, to help you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together and begin the process of aligning your mind, body, and soul, creating a happier, healthier you. So let's dive straight in. Hello, and welcome back. I feel every time I go to record a podcast, I'm like, okay, how am I going to open this today? I feel like I just need to look up hello in every language and every new episode, just say it in a different language. Let me know what you think. I feel like I start at the same every time, and that's probably fine, but if you have any suggestions, I'm here for it. So welcome back to Health Unraveled. My name is Shan Holderness, as you know. I am really excited for this episode. I probably say that every time because I get really excited when I get to record podcasts because I really love doing it. But I'm going to start with the card reading today, and I pulled the card Trust Your Path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And the reading says, the universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after the other. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they're waiting to see their end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year, you would have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Keep moving and opening yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you're planning, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could have possibly imagined. Don't micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. If you knew you would be supported no matter what would you do? And that's what it's really about, right? It's taking those small, tiny steps in the right direction. It's not about proving the end goal. It's about knowing where you're headed and continuously testing and adjusting the path that you're on to make sure it aligns with the destination you want to get to, right? And then assessing whether the destination is actually where you want to be going. And that's such a beautiful reading. I feel like I have pulled that card before, but it was obviously what needed to be spoken today. And so that's absolutely fine. I never track what cards I've pulled because the card I pull is the card I pull, and that's what needs to be said, and that's what you, for whatever reason, need to hear today, however you resonate with that. The purpose of the card readings is just to have that soul connection, to start prompting those thoughts within you in a different way, to start helping you navigate that connection between mind, body, and soul, because we lose our intuition. We lose that connection that we all are born with, that intrinsic knowing. We lose that over time, and I spent so many years fighting to try and get that back, and stuck because it wasn't there and I didn't know how to connect back in. And so that's why I use the card readings as a really important part of this podcast, is just to help you create that dialogue between you and you, right? So today's topic is 3 questions to ask when you dislike your body. And actually it's 4 questions. Take that back. There's 4 questions. I'm very passionate about, again, connecting back in with our body. We are so negative. We're so down. We have so much pressure on how we think we should be, how we think we should look, how we think we should act, what we think we should do, what we think we should buy. And for who? For who and for what purpose? You know, again, I was stuck there for so long trying to please everyone else around me. It's actually making me a bit emotional. Wow. I didn't feel that coming, and here it is. I am so proud that I no longer live my life by other people's standards, whether that's people around me, whether that's social media, whether that's, you know, society as a whole. I don't live my life for anyone except me and my family, right? Because for what purpose would I live my life in any other way? And I'd love for you to, let's make the 5 questions for today. For what purpose? For what purpose do you need to change your physical appearance to please other people? Right? So I'm gonna dive into the questions first. The first question to ask yourself when you're having a bad body image day is, would I say this to someone I love? So the thoughts that you're saying to yourself, would you say them to someone you love? And I really want you to imagine someone that you love, whether it's your partner, your mother, your father, your children, your best friend, whoever it is, the person that you care about the most in the world. The things that you say to yourself, would you say to them? In all honesty, would you ever say that to someone else that you love? And the reason why this question is so important is because you are the best friend that you will ever have. You get to live this life in this body for the rest of your life. You are the best friend you will ever have. Where is the purpose of spending that time saying things to yourself that you wouldn't say to people around you, to the people that you truly love? Because the love that we have for ourselves is the most important thing we could possibly do for ourselves and those around us, is have love and respect for ourselves. Now, if you would not say these words that you're saying to someone else, to yourself, if you wouldn't say that to someone else, I want you to ask yourself why. For what purpose are you saying it to you? The second question I want to ask is, where did I borrow this belief from? Now, you were not born with the belief that you should hate yourself. You were not born thinking that you are anything other than perfect and whole. That comes over time through conditioning, through what we see, through what we hear, through what we say. Where did you borrow the belief from that you are not enough as you are? That you are not worthy as you are? Where did you borrow that belief from? And I want you to think of all the different factors that play into this belief that you have around yourself and your body. Whose beliefs are they? The third question I want you to ask, and this is specifically for, you know, the different parts of your body. What does this body part do for me? And if you have multiple parts of your body that you struggle with, you can ask that for each one. And I want you to physically write. I've said 2 episodes ago that you need a Health Unraveled notebook, and I'll say it again. The body part, I want you to look at it. I want you to touch it. I want you to feel it. And I really want you to think, what does this do for me? What does this part of my body do for me? Because every single part of our body plays a role and a purpose in our everyday life. You know, our stomach digests food. Our bellies grow babies if you're a female. We actually require fat on our body to regulate our hormones. We require fat on our body to regulate our hormones. Our arms, they're the things that we get to hold our children and our loved ones with. Our legs keep us standing up and moving and walking and keep us stable. You know, we have every single part of our body plays a really important role, and I really want you to dive deeply into that. And if you're unsure, Google, what do our arms do? What do our legs do? What does my stomach do? What does this part of my body do for me? And how fucking incredible is that? And the last question is, so what can I believe instead? How can I change this belief that is not serving me? Because when we come from this place of hatred, disgust, when we come from that place, the only place it's going to take you to is punishment. And punishing yourself has not worked for you so far. So for what purpose would you choose to continue doing it? And I just want to let that sit. If hating yourself, if punishing yourself, if hurting yourself, or feeling disgusted within yourself, if that hasn't worked for you, for what purpose are you choosing to continue doing it? And what if it got to be as easy as learning to love and respect and honor our bodies? That doesn't mean that things won't change. And the interesting thing about our body is a physical representation. I've said this before. Our body is a physical representation of our genetics combined with our beliefs, thoughts, habits, and actions that we've carried over the years. Whatever you believe and think and do consistently, your body will physically represent that in combination with your genetics, with your genetic structure. That's all our physical body is. And so there's only so much we can do with our genetics. So why don't we change our beliefs and our thoughts? Because you've probably been working on changing your habits and actions, and it's probably not working all that well right now because your beliefs have not changed. There's a really good episode on this. If you go back scroll back a few, you'll see why changing your habits, or I think it's actually called How to Change Your Habits. I spoke about this topic on. So go back to that one if you're unsure why changing your habits isn't working, because that podcast will explain all of it. But for what purpose would you keep doing something that's not working for you, that's not serving you? So I'm just going to go through those questions again. I'm very passionate about this topic, if you couldn't tell. What would I say this to someone I love? Where did I borrow this belief from? What is it that this body part does for me that I can show gratitude for? What do I choose to believe instead? What do I choose to believe instead? The most empowering thing about this is that you get to have a say. You get to have a choice. You get to break those limiting beliefs. And that's so empowering. Sometimes it can feel like responsibility, but it's so empowering. And so I'm going to ask yourself right now, what are you going to do with this information? What are you going to do with this podcast? I sure hope you've written some notes. I really hope you have. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about, because we spend so many years, so many minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years of our lives punishing ourselves and hating ourselves. And we're capable of so much, and there's so much more out there for us. And it doesn't come from hate and punishment, I promise you. So I can't wait to see what you do and how you transform, knowing what you now know. I love you. Now it's time to say that to yourself. If you loved this episode, please let me know by leaving me a review or sharing this with your friends. It's so important for me to get this information out to those that need to hear it. So your feedback means the absolute world to me. And also, if you have any topic requests, hit me up with them too.